Another one bites the dust. Another one. By another one, I do mean another month, because June is over, halfway through 2024, and in this video I'm going to go ahead and talk about the books that are on my radar that are releasing this July, and also books that I'm gonna attempt to read. We'll see where the month takes us. But anyway, for my new releases, that's what I'm going to start with first. The first one that, I have to read this is Reckless by Lauren Roberts, which, if you don't know, is the second book in the series. So you have Powerless, which is book number 1, and then you have Powerful, which is book 1.5. It's a very short novella. You are meant to read it after you read Powerless though, so definitely do not read it before, because it will spoil some things for you. It's Powerless, Powerful 1.5, and then now you're gonna have Reckless. This is book 2. If you read Powerless, then you know that it left off on a very big cliffhanger. We have no idea what's gonna happen. Like, pretty much like things went down at the end of book 1, and it's like everything's kind of scattered. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I just know there's a lot of people mad at other people, and then there are people that are hiding from other people. Like, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. So this is book 2 that's coming out. It's coming out July 2nd. So very, very soon. So excited. But anyway, that was the first one. Then I have Business Casual by B.K. Borison. This is book 4. If you read Love Light Farms, In the Weeds, and I can't remember the name of the other book. Crap. But anyway, if you've read any of the those books, this is book 4. This one actually follows Nova, she's a tattoo shop owner. She's an artist, and she is the sister of one of the owners of this farm. So this one follows the sister of the hero from In the Weeds, and it also follows Charlie, who is the brother of the heroine from the first book, and he's very like CEO by the book, and it's basically like opposites attract. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like this is gonna be such a good read, and it's coming out on July 16th. Another one that's coming out July 16th is Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. This one, all I know is that it has to do with string players. So like they're part of an orchestra, and they're basically competing for first chair. First chair is like one of the most coveted positions. And once the heroine gets it, the hero is like, what the heck? Like, no, I want that position. And so they're pretty much competing against each other. But when they are both on stage, apparently it's like super magical, and they have all this chemistry. So it seems like it's gonna be like an enemies to lovers / kind of workplace romance, since they're technically both going after the same spot. I don't know. I'm very competitive, so this sounds like right up my alley. And again, it's coming out on July 16th. And then you have The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh, which is coming out on July 2nd. And this one, okay, I actually feel like this is like the perfect book for me to read this month. This month coming out, simply because it's about a heroine who, I think she has some sort of accident, and while she's in the hospital, she meets a woman who's basically on her deathbed. She has just months to live, and she decides, they somehow, I guess, agreed to go on this adventure of just saying yes to things. If like a stranger says, hey, you guys want to join us for lunch? The answer is yes. Or like, hey, let's go, on a hike. Yes. Like, basically they make this agreement that they have to say yes to different things and step out of their comfort zone. And so it's all about making the most out of life and forgiveness and what's important, which I feel like it's such a good thing to read about, because it's like a great reminder of just enjoying the little things in life and not taking any day for granted. So that's coming out on July 2nd. And then I have Dawn of Flames, which I just found out. I got an email that I'm getting the ARC for it, and I'm so excited, because this is book 3 in the Tessa Hale series of Ember Hollows. So if you don't know, there is 3 books. Both books are already out. They're on Kindle Unlimited. Go check them out. They're quick reads, and they're so good. This is the 3rd book. It is the conclusion of the story, as far as I know, unless she's like gonna release book 4. But from what I know, it was only supposed to be a trilogy, and it's a white shoes romance with dragon shifters. Yep, dragon shifters. It's 5 guys. They're all very different, so you definitely get a little bit of everything. You have Knox, which is pretty much golden retriever. Like, that's like the best way that I can describe him. And then you have Kale, who's like this Viking grumpy guy. He has a lot of things that he went through in the past, so he's like our tortured hero. And then you have Maddox, who is a professor at this university. He's a young professor, but because he's a professor at this university, he's like, yes, like fated mate, but also I need to keep my hands off of you because, you know, I'm a professor and you're in school. Anyway, and then you have, oh my gosh, what's his name? Easton, who is Knox's twin, and he is very, there's some things that happen in his past, so he feels like he doesn't deserve love and he doesn't deserve to have this mate, but he still really wants her and he's really protective of her. But he so far has been like, no, 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 like I need to like deny this and push her away. Men. And then you have Cillian. Cillian is the alpha. He is like mafia billionaire vibes. They're not in the mafia. They do have some like business dwellings. They have a lot of money, but he will give you that like CEO, mafia, boss, alpha vibe. So there's a little bit of everything. Dawn of Flames is a conclusion, like I said, and it's coming out on July 19th. And then the last one that I have here on my radar is The One I Stood Beside by Piper Rain. This is a small town, best friends since they were children, and this is fake marriage. I actually already read the book because I was lucky enough to get an ARC for this, but let me tell you, it was so good. I actually liked this book even more than I liked the first one. And like I said, it's childhood friends to lovers. It's a small town, but they both live on a ranch. So she is the girl next door, but she lived on a ranch. So like they're pretty like far away from each other. But the book starts off with them being like when they were 6 years old, and they bond and they just become really, really good friends. Now he's 34. She's either 34 or 33. And she's like, listen, I need to just confess that I've always had feelings for him, because, you know, she's always wanted something more, but she's never actually just been out front and told him anything. But some things go down and she's not able to tell him, but now she needs his help. And he decides to help her by getting into an arranged marriage, aka like a marriage of convenience. And now it's like, okay, we're getting married, but it's not because of the reasons that I wanted, because he has no idea that she has feelings for him. So, you know, they have to live together, they have to pretend that the marriage is real. Forced proximity. Check it out, so good. But it's coming out technically July 2nd. Now on to my TBR. Full disclosure, okay? Anything that I didn't read in June is very much still on my July TBR because of that August book signing that I'm going to. So I will definitely still be focusing on those, but I have a few more that I have added on there. So I'm really, really hoping that I'm an overachiever in July and that I am able to read a lot. So wish me luck. But the first one I have on my TBR is Here to Stay by Adriana Herrera, or Adriana Herrera. So this one, basically the girl, well, the heroine, she lives in New York City, and her boyfriend both moved to Texas. So she moves her whole life to Texas. New York City, Texas, very different. I've been to both. I haven't been to every area in Texas, but very different vibes, okay? So she moves to Texas, and basically her boyfriend ends up being like, you know what, never mind, I'm moving back to California. But she doesn't have that same liberty that he does to just up and leave. And she is working for like this high fashion company. She is forced to basically befriend this new guy that they hire, and he is like a consultant. Yeah, he's a consultant, and she has to be working with him, but they're kind of bumping heads, but it's her job to like make him happy and like work with him. So yeah, it has like fashion, and I'm assuming like enemies to lovers. I love fashion. Enemies to lovers, sign me up. And then the other one on my TBR is Forget Me Not by QB Tyler. Now listen, I do not like cheating. In real life, hell no. And in books, even less. Okay, for me, like, I don't think I've actually read a book with full, no, actually no, that's a lie. I did read a book that had cheating, and it was Bound by Blood by Cora Riley. I read this, I think this was like it was the first mafia book that I read. And honestly, I think my brain kind of decided to forget that that happens, because it's like this brief thing that happens. But I was mad at him because at this point, like, him and the heroine are married, but it was like an arranged mafia marriage. So like they haven't even been together. Like nothing has happened between them. And like after that happens, he never like does it again. But still, I would never ever condone it. But in this one, okay, the hero and the heroine are getting a divorce. He was unfaithful to her. They had issues in their marriage, blah, blah, blah. And they are in the process of getting divorced. he gets into some sort of accident. And so because she's still his wife, she gets the call to go to the hospital and basically check on him, take care of the paperwork, etc. Once she shows up, he's like, babe, oh my gosh, like, you know, you're here, blah, blah, blah. I love you, blah, blah. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, we're literally getting like divorced. And he is like shocked by this. He's like, what do you mean? Like, you're the love of my life. And she's like, no, actually, we're literally in the process of divorce because you did this, 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 and this, and this. He cannot believe it. He cannot understand how he could have possibly fallen out of love with her. And the story goes from there. So again, I would not condone cheating, but this like whole amnesia thing reminded me of the movie The Vow. If you saw it with Rachel McAdams and Channing Tatum, I don't know, it's giving me those vibes. So I really, really want to read it. And okay, just really quickly, The Vow is actually based in like my hometown. I didn't know that, but it's inspired by an actual true story where the heroine, she lived here in my hometown, like very, very close to me. Well, not to me, I don't know exactly where she lived, but like a city that's really close to me. They met through, I think she had like a customer service role, and they met on the phone or something. They ended up, I think, dating. I don't know if they were already married or something, but she did actually have an accident and she did really forget who he was. And like he had to make her fall in love again. And like those events kind of inspired The Vow. Look it up, look it up. It's crazy. It's so romantic. It's so cute. It makes me want to cry even more right now just thinking about it. But anyway, so good. But those are the vibes that I got for that one, so I definitely want to read it. And then I have You Again by Kate Goldbeck. So in this one, you have a hero and heroine. They meet, and instead of feeling sparks, like the description says, they absolutely hate each other. They have nothing in common. They're very, very different, except they end up finding out that they're both dating the same woman. Talk about a plot twist. So I don't know how they find out. All I know is that they do find out, and for some reason or another, I think after some time they end up reconnecting, and when they reconnect, they end up becoming really good friends, and I think eventually that friendship develops into more. So very different, very unique from other stories that I've read, so I'm very interested to read it. Then I have Business or Pleasure by Rachel Lynn Solomon. So this one, all I know is that she is a ghostwriter and he is a struggling actor. So he is like a C-list actor. And if you don't know what it means, not that I'm like super well versed in Hollywood, but you have like A-list actors, which would be like your Jennifer Aniston, your Brad Pitt, you know, like those actors. And it just goes like A, B, C. So this is like a C-list actor, and she ends up getting hired to become his ghostwriter. I think he's like releasing an autobiography or something, but they had a one-night stand prior to that. So when she has to like work with him, they're working together, and I'm not sure exactly how, but he basically ends up finding out that he thought he like blew her mind when they had hooked up, and she's like, oh, actually no, like I didn't really enjoy it. That's so sad. I shouldn't laugh. But anyway, like, you know when you think something and like you just get humbled really fast? That's kind of what it seems like it happens here. And I guess she ends up telling him like, listen, I'll help you with like seduction and techniques and pointers or whatever. I don't know exactly how she's gonna help him. I have an idea. I'm gonna find out when I read it, so we'll see. Let's see. Oh, the other one. This one sounds really interesting. It's I'm Not Supposed to Be in the Dark by Reese M. Nelson. So this is a YA book, and it's described as for fans of White Smoke. I don't know what White Smoke is, and Twilight. So this one, the heroine, she's 17 years old, I believe, and she sees ghosts. Like, I think it's like a family thing, and I think her grandpa or her dad, I'm not sure, a family member of hers, gives her this like tea or like supplement thing or whatever that's supposed to like suppress that so that she can't see it. Except she ends up noticing that like her neighbor, who used to be her best friend, kind of leaves at random hours in the middle of the night and like is acting really strange. And when she confronts him, she ends up finding out that he's like possessed by this ghost. And honestly, typically all of this stuff sounds really creepy to me. I do not like stuff like that. I am a chicken when it comes to that stuff. But I guess the ghost tells her, listen, you either help me or like this body that I'm in is gonna go bye-bye, or like the ghost is gonna harm it. I'm not sure. So they end up going on this adventure and they're reconnecting, and I don't know. It sounds like a really unique, fun story. And honestly, YA, I thought it wasn't really for me, but I've been finding that I do enjoy it every once in a while. So I'm gonna try it out and see how I feel. Last but not least, I have a little, I'm gonna say book club, even though it's just me and my friend. And if you're watching it, hi, you know I'm talking about you. But my friend and I are gonna be reading Living Legend by Ali Shante. All I know is that this is an angel and demon romance. I believe it's a romance, and the angel and the demon have to go on like some sort of mission together. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I read the blurb, I didn't really get it, but the unique thing that I thought about this one is that she is the one that's the demon and he is the angel. I feel like 99% of the time when it's stuff like that, it's always like the woman or like the heroine is like the good or pure character, and it's always like the demon or the bad one is always the guy. So I think it's gonna be nice to see it backwards. I don't know, we'll see, but she and I are gonna read it together this month. She's also an author that's gonna be there at that book signing in August, so perfect opportunity to kind of, you know, kill two birds with one stone. Which actually, that sounds so sad. Why would you kill a bird or birds? That's messed up. Anyway, so those are the new releases that are on my radar, and also the books that I'm going to attempt to be reading this month. Let me know what you're going to be reading in July, just so I can check out some more books if I end up having time. And even if I don't, I can always add it to my ever-growing TBR list. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.